The boy in white might actually be the most important character in From, and honestly, he may also be the most dangerous. At first, the show wants us to trust him. Compared to the smiling monsters outside, he seems harmless, calm, helpful even. But the more you think about his role in the story, the stranger he becomes. Because unlike everyone else trapped in the town, the boy in white doesn't seem afraid. He appears whenever he wants, disappears whenever he wants, and somehow always knows exactly where people need to go. That's not normal. In fact, the more clues the show gives us, the more it feels like the boy in white isn't just another victim trapped there. He's connected to the town itself. Think about it. You can also think about clicking the subscribe button and clicking like while you're at it. Okay, so not everybody can see him as he only appears to certain people, usually during important moments. And every time he shows up, something major changes in the story, almost like he's guiding events from the background. But here's what makes this really interesting. The boy in white never gives straight answers. He points people in directions, he leads them somewhere, he influences their decisions, but he never fully explains what's happening. And that raises a huge question. If he's truly trying to help everyone escape, why be so mysterious? Why not just tell people the truth? Unless confusion is actually part of the plan. One of the biggest theories is that the boy in white is some kind of spirit connected to the origins of the town, maybe even the first child who ever became trapped there. That would explain why he feels both human and unnatural at the same time. He looks like a child, but he doesn't behave like one. He's always calm, even during horrifying situations. He almost feels emotionally detached, like someone who's been there for far too long. And what if that's exactly what happened? What if the town changed him over time? Another theory is even darker. What if the boy in white isn't actually a real person anymore? What if he's a projection created by the town itself? Think about how the town manipulates people psychologically. It creates fear, paranoia, hopelessness, and even hallucinations. So, what better way to control people than by giving them something comforting to trust? A child, someone innocent, someone people would naturally follow. That would make the boy in white the perfect tool for manipulation. And if that theory is true, then every time he helps someone, he may actually be leading them deeper into the town's control instead of toward freedom. Because whenever people follow him, they usually end up discovering something disturbing, something hidden, something that pulls them further into the mystery, almost like the town wants certain people to keep searching. But why? That's where another theory comes in. What if the boy in white is trying to maintain balance inside the town, not necessarily saving people, but preventing something worse from happening? That could explain why his actions feel morally unclear. Sometimes he helps, sometimes he disappears, sometimes he seems almost emotionless. Maybe there is no perfect solution. Maybe the town itself is unstable and the boy in white is somehow keeping everything contained. And honestly, that possibility might be scarier than him being evil, because if he really is holding everything together, what happens if he disappears? What happens if the only thing maintaining order inside this nightmare suddenly stops? The monsters might not even be the real threat. The town itself could be something alive, something ancient, something that needs sacrifices, fear, or suffering to continue existing, and the boy in white may be the only being that truly understands it. Which brings me to the creepiest detail of all. He's always watching. Even when he's silent, even when he says nothing, he watches people constantly, almost like he already knows what's going to happen before it does. That's not the behavior of a scared child. That's the behavior of someone connected to the system. And the show keeps putting him at the center of every major mystery for a reason. The children, the visions, the lighthouse, the symbols, the voices, somehow it all leads back to him. So maybe the real question isn't whether the boy in white is good or evil. Maybe the real question is this: what exactly is he trying to prepare everyone for? Because the more you think about him, the less human he feels. And that's what makes him one of the most terrifying mysteries in all of From. If you enjoyed this deep dive into From and want more theories, breakdowns, and hidden details, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next mystery. And tell me in the comments, do you think the boy in white is helping or controlling the town? I'll see you in the next upload.